All right, so prepping for a job interview, especially for something like an Industrial Assembly Supervisor, can be kind of like, well, a little scary.
Yeah, it can definitely feel intimidating.
But, we're going to help you through it today.
Exactly. That's why we're doing this deep dive.
Into the world of Industrial Assembly Supervisors.
Exactly.
And, so you can just absolutely crush that interview. We're going to be looking at some awesome resources from RoleCatcher,
Yeah, they have some great guides.
like their Industrial Assembly Supervisor Career and Interview guides. We'll be pulling some stuff from their website, too, and their interview questions repository. So kind of a holistic view.
Yeah, you'll get the full picture.
So instead of just giving answers, we're really going to break down, how to think about these questions, how to approach them.
And really highlight your experience.
Yeah, make your experience shine through.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's AI can even help you tailor your resume and cover letter.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically for this role, right? It's not about just listing what you've done in the past. It's about showcasing those skills that are really important to hiring managers.
Right, that they're really looking for.
In industrial assembly.
Yeah, almost like having a personal stylist.
Exactly.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back and understand what this role really is.
Right. Let's get back to basics.
So, what is an Industrial Assembly Supervisor?
Well, the career guide, that's where we should start. And the interesting thing is it's not just overseeing the assembly line, it's about leading teams.
Right, a lot more to it.
It's about managing resources and making sure that everything runs smoothly to meet those production targets.
Yeah, you got to hit those numbers.
You got to think of it almost like conducting an orchestra, right?
Okay.
But instead of instruments, you're coordinating people and machines and materials.
Okay, so leadership and organization, those are definitely key.
Definitely key.
What else should somebody going for this role kind of know before they walk into that interview room?
Well, the industry trends section of the career guide highlights something really interesting. The manufacturing sector is experiencing this major, a resurgence maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so the demand for skilled assembly supervisors, it's growing rapidly.
Well, that's good news for anyone in the field.
Yeah, it's a good time to be in the field.
But, more demand means more competition, right?
Right. Definitely.
So how do you really stand out?
The career guide also talks about how technology is rapidly changing.
Yeah, it's impacting everything.
Yeah, in the landscape of industrial assembly. So you've got automation, you've got robotics, all this, cool, exciting stuff.
It's pretty cutting edge.
Yeah, definitely. And candidates need to demonstrate that they can adapt, that they're willing to embrace new technologies.
Okay, so it's not just managing people. It's about being comfortable with all the changes, all the technology coming into the factory floor.
Exactly.
So let's get to the heart of this deep dive, the interview.
Yeah.
What are some of those common questions that might come up? And how do you approach them?
Well, let's start with a classic. Can you tell us about your experience in managing teams in an industrial assembly setting?
Okay, yeah. I imagine that comes up a lot.
It comes up a lot, yeah, and it's your chance to showcase your leadership style, talk about your communication skills, your ability to really motivate teams.
And to achieve those goals, hit those production goals.
Yeah, to hit those production targets, absolutely.
So it's not just about, listing job titles.
No, it's more than that.
You got to share those examples.
Yeah, bring it to life.
Bring your experience to life.
Exactly, yeah. So talk about the challenges. How did you overcome them? What were the outcomes? Did you meet or even exceed production targets? Did you implement any cool, process improvements?
Yeah, make things more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. Boosted that efficiency, right? And these are the details that really make your answer stand out.
That make it memorable.
Memorable, absolutely.
And this is where, RoleCatcher's AI, I think, can really help you fine-tune these answers. You can practice your response.
Yeah, it's like having instant feedback.
Instant feedback. Have you highlighted the right skills? Are your examples strong enough?
Are they compelling enough? Yeah.
Yeah. It's that personalized AI coaching.
Yeah, it's really helpful.
Okay, so you nailed that first question. What are some of the follow-ups they might throw your way?
Oh, they're going to dig deeper, for sure.
Okay.
They might dig deeper into your leadership style. Think about how you describe your approach to motivating teams.
Okay, yeah, are you collaborative? Are you more directive?
Exactly. And be prepared to explain why your style is effective in this particular environment.
Okay, yeah, why it works for this.
Yeah, in industrial assembly.
Right, because that's where it matters.
Exactly. And they might also ask you about a time when you face a difficult situation with a team member.
Ah, yeah, conflict.
Yeah, a little bit of conflict. So this is your chance to really showcase your conflict resolution skills.
Okay, so how did you handle it? How did you work through that?
Yeah, think about a time when you successfully, mediated a dispute or coached a team member to improve.
So you want a positive outcome.
Yeah, focus on those steps that you took and the outcome that you achieved.
So these follow-up questions are really designed to kind of assess your experience.
Yeah, how deep does it go, right?
And how you can handle real-world challenges.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
be prepared for that in-depth conversation.
Yeah, you got to think beyond just the initial question.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's move on to another crucial question. Safety.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
This one comes up a lot. How do you ensure that safety protocols are followed in an industrial assembly setting?
Okay, yeah, I mean, safety is obviously paramount in any industrial environment.
It is absolutely paramount, yeah.
This is your opportunity to really show that you're not just focused on productivity, you're focused on creating a safe workplace
A safe and healthy workplace.
for everybody on your team.
For everybody, exactly.
So they want to see that, the safety regulations.
You've got to know those regulations.
And that you have a really proactive approach
That's key.
to implementing and enforcing the protocols.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for, yeah.
So think about those specific examples of safety measures that you've implemented in the past.
Yeah, have you conducted regular safety audits? Have you provided training?
Okay, yeah. So don't just say, I follow safety protocols.
No, you've got to go deeper.
Bring it to life.
Bring it to life, yeah.
Tell them about that time, you noticed a potential hazard and took immediate steps.
Right, and you fixed it.
Or how you created a new safety training program that actually reduced accidents.
Those details matter, yeah.
Yeah.
Those details show that you're committed to safety.
Right, and that you take action.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Their database, it's packed with real-world examples and insights into best practices.
Well, that's great. So you can see how other people have successfully tackled some of these challenges.
And tailor your answers.
And tailor your answers to reflect that, like having a team of safety experts at your fingertips.
You got it.
Okay, so what are some potential follow-up questions?
Well, they could focus on some specific safety challenges that you've faced, or maybe how you've handled situations where, someone just wasn't following procedures.
Yeah.
Someone was cutting corners.
Right, yeah, not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right, exactly.
So they might say, what would you do if you observed a team member, say, not wearing their safety glasses?
Yeah. You got to be prepared for those kind of questions.
Yeah, because that's a real thing that could happen.
It could definitely happen. And this is your chance to show them you can address those safety concerns directly.
But fairly.
But fairly, yes.
Okay.
They might also ask about your experience with specific safety training programs or your knowledge of industry-specific regulations.
Right, like, do you really know your stuff?
You got to know your stuff. And being prepared to discuss those details demonstrates your expertise. It shows that you're committed to maintaining that safe work environment.
Okay, so we've covered a couple really crucial questions so far.
We've made some good progress.
Are you ready to tackle another one?
Bring it on. All right, welcome back. Hope you're ready for some more interview questions.
Oh, absolutely. We're just getting warmed up.
That's the spirit.
Remember, we're using RoleCatcher's awesome resources to, really nail that Industrial Assembly Supervisor interview.
Yeah, we're giving you the inside scoop.
And we're focusing on those questions that really get to the heart of, what it takes to be successful in this role.
Exactly, the real deal.
So let's jump into another one that can be kind of challenging. How do you manage and prioritize multiple projects in an industrial assembly setting?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Because, things can get pretty hectic.
Yeah, definitely. That's where your organizational skills come in. And, your ability to really juggle those priorities.
It's like a juggling act, for sure.
It really is. It's like, imagine conducting multiple orchestras at the same time.
Oh, wow, okay.
Each one with its own tempo and set of instruments.
So you got to keep it all in sync.
You got to keep it all in sync. So how do you demonstrate that you can handle this juggling act? Well, think about specific examples of times when you've successfully managed multiple projects at once?
Like really concrete examples.
Concrete examples. Did you use any project management tools or, specific techniques?
Yeah, did you break down those projects into smaller tasks?
Exactly. Did you have regular check-ins with your team to make sure everyone's on track?
To track that progress.
You got to show them that you have a system for staying organized.
Okay, so like what would be a good example of that?
Well, you could say something like, in my previous role, I was responsible for 3 different product lines,
Wow, okay.
each with its own production schedule and its own challenges.
That's a lot to manage.
It was a lot to manage, but to stay organized, I used a project management software. And it allowed me to track those deadlines, delegate tasks, and really monitor progress in real time.
Keep an eye on everything.
Exactly. And I also had these daily stand-up meetings with my team
Okay.
to talk about priorities, any roadblocks, and just to make sure everybody was on the same page.
So everyone knows what's going on.
Exactly.
So that's a great example. It shows you're proactive using those tools. Now, I imagine the interviewer might follow up with something like, what would you do if 2 projects had conflicting deadlines?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Because that happens, right?
It happens all the time. So this is where you really got to showcase your ability to assess risks, negotiate priorities, and make those tough decisions under pressure.
Yeah, show that you can handle those curveballs.
Absolutely. Got to be adaptable. Now, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about career advancement.
Okay, yeah, because you don't just want to get the job, right?
Yeah, you want to grow.
You want to thrive in your career.
Exactly. You want to move up that ladder.
And the Industrial Assembly Supervisor's role, I mean, it could be a stepping stone to some really exciting opportunity.
Oh, yeah, it's a great starting point.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually dives into this.
It does, yeah. It highlights that potential for advancement to positions like production manager or even plant manager.
Wow, so there's definitely room to grow.
There's a lot of potential there.
So it's important to, not just show your competence in the current role, but also that ambition, that potential for leadership.
Absolutely. You got to show them you're ready for more.
Now, the Career Guide also gives some great examples, of successful people at different stages of their careers.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
It's like a roadmap to success.
It is. And one of the key takeaways from these profiles is the importance of continuous learning.
Oh, yeah. Always be learning.
Always be learning. The guide mentions some certifications like Certified Manufacturing Technologist or CMFGT for short,
Okay.
or Certified Lean Six Sigma Green Belt.
CLSGB.
CLSSGB.
Those are a mouth.
They are, but those certifications, they show that you're committed to professional development, and they also give you a competitive edge.
Yeah, they make you stand out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about RoleCatcher's AI tools again.
Okay, yeah, those have been really helpful.
They have. We've talked about the CV resume builder, the video practice feature.
Those are great.
But there's another amazing feature we haven't mentioned yet. The AI-powered feedback for specific job roles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is where things get really personalized. Imagine an AI coach that understands the specific job you're applying for.
Wow.
And it gives you tailored feedback on your answers.
That's amazing.
It is. It's like having a secret weapon.
Okay.
It helps you anticipate what the interviewer is looking for and craft those perfect responses.
So how does that work?
Well, let's say you're working on your answer to that question about managing multiple projects. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your response. And it can tell you if you've highlighted the right skills, if your examples are strong enough, and even suggest ways to make your answer more impactful.
So it's like having a personal editor.
Exactly. It's like having a coach and an editor all in one.
That's incredible.
It can really help you fine-tune those answers.
Okay. Now, before we go to more specific questions, I want to touch on something that a lot of people forget.
Okay.
Asking good questions at the end of the interview.
Oh, yes. That's so important.
It's your turn to interview them.
Exactly. Turn the tables. It shows you're engaged, that you're curious.
And genuinely interested in the role.
Absolutely. And it also gives you a chance to get more information and decide if this is really the right fit for you.
Okay, so what kind of questions should you be asking?
Well, think about those questions that go beyond the basics, right? Like company culture.
Okay, yeah.
Team dynamics. What are the opportunities for growth and development?
So, give me an example of a good question.
You could ask, what are some of the company's initiatives for promoting continuous improvement and employee development? Or what are the opportunities to contribute to process innovation and problem solving within the team.
Those are great questions.
You got to show them you're thinking ahead.
Yeah, you're not just there for the paycheck.
Exactly. You want to be part of something bigger.
So remember, the interview is a two-way street.
It is. You're both trying to decide if this is a good fit.
Okay, you ready for another round of questions?
Hit me with them. I'm ready for the challenge.
All right, here's one that's all about maintaining a high-performing team. How do you ensure that workers are trained and knowledgeable about assembly processes and equipment?
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
This is where you showcase your commitment to, developing your team
Building those skills.
and fostering that culture of learning.
Yeah, that's key.
So think about those specific examples of how you've provided training, mentorship, resources.
Exactly. How did you help your team stay up to date?
Keep them sharp.
Exactly.
Give me an example of, a good answer for this.
You could say something like, I believe that investing in my team's skills and knowledge is crucial for achieving our production goals.
Okay.
And for maintaining a high level of quality.
Yeah, it's an investment.
It is an investment.
Yeah.
And then you could add, I regularly conduct skills assessments to identify any training needs.
Okay.
And I develop tailored training programs that combine hands-on experience with classroom instruction.
Oh, okay, so a blended approach.
Yeah, blended approach. And then you can say, I also encourage my team to share their knowledge with each other.
Oh, like peer-to-peer mentoring.
Exactly. Peer-to-peer mentoring and cross-training.
So everyone's learning from each other.
Exactly.
That's a fantastic answer. It really highlights that commitment to, continuous improvement.
Absolutely.
Now, what would be a good follow-up question for that?
Well, the interviewer might ask, how do you measure the effectiveness of those training programs?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so here's where you can talk about things like improved productivity,
Okay, yeah, metrics.
reduced error rates, increased employee satisfaction.
So it's not just about doing the training, it's about making sure it's working.
Exactly. You got to show them that your training programs are strategic.
They have a purpose.
They have a purpose, they get results.
Okay, let's move on to another one that comes up a lot in industrial assembly interviews. How do you address and resolve equipment malfunctions in an industrial assembly setting?
Yes, the dreaded equipment breakdown.
Oh, yeah?
It's going to happen at some point. So this is where your problem-solving skills really come into play, and your technical knowledge.
So think about a time when you had to deal with a malfunctioning piece of equipment.
Yeah, what were those steps you took?
Did you troubleshoot it yourself? Did you call a technician?
Did you have to get creative?
Think outside the box.
The interviewer wants to see that you can stay calm under pressure, that you can assess the situation and take action.
Minimize that downtime.
Exactly. You got to keep things moving. So you could say something like, when equipment malfunctions, my first priority is safety.
Okay, yeah, safety first.
Always. I secure the area, make sure no one's at risk. Then I try to diagnose the problem using my knowledge of the equipment and any available resources.
Like manuals.
Yeah, manuals, online forums, things like that.
Okay.
And if it's beyond my expertise, I contact a qualified technician right away.
So know when to call for help.
Know when to call for help, exactly.
Ah.
And then you can add, I also document the issue, the steps I took to resolve it, and any preventative measures to avoid similar problems in the future.
Oh, so you're learning from it.
You're learning from it, you're preventing it from happening again.
Okay, so what are some follow-up questions they might ask about this?
Well, they could focus on your experience with specific types of equipment,
Okay.
common troubleshooting techniques, preventative maintenance procedures.
Yeah, they want to see how deep your knowledge goes.
They want to see if you're the real deal.
And they might also ask about a time when you had to make a tough call.
Oh, yeah, like shutting down the production line
Yeah.
to address a safety or quality issue.
So it's about showing you can make those tough decisions.
Exactly. You're a problem solver.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have. We're making good progress.
but there's still more to come.
Oh, yeah. We're not done yet.
We'll be back in part 3 to wrap things up,
We'll give you those final tips and insights.
to help you ace that Industrial Assembly Supervisor interview.
Don't miss it.
And we are back for the final part of this deep dive, getting you ready for that Industrial Assembly Supervisor interview.
We've covered a lot of ground already. The demands of the role, some of those tough interview questions.
All right, now we're going to give you those final, nuggets of wisdom.
Those golden nuggets, yeah. To boost your confidence, help you really shine in that interview.
So you walk in there feeling like you got this.
Yeah.
Now, we've been using RoleCatcher's resources throughout this whole deep dive, and their career guide, it emphasizes something really interesting: career progression.
Yeah. It's not just about getting the job. It's about what comes next.
Right. This isn't a dead end. This is a stepping stone to even bigger, better things.
Exactly, to those more senior leadership positions.
So what kind of roles are we talking about here?
Well, the guide highlights some potential paths you can take, like becoming a production manager.
Okay. Yeah.
Or even a plant manager. It even gives you examples of people who have, climbed that ladder.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It shows you what it takes, the skills and experiences that pave the way.
It's like having a sneak peek into a successful career.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's get back to those interview questions.
Let's dive back in.
We got to make sure you're prepared.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one that often, throws people off. Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision in an industrial assembly setting?
Ooh, a tough one.
Yeah. So it's not about finding the right answer here.
Okay.
It's more about showing how you make decisions, how you weigh different options, what your leadership style is when things get tough.
Right. When you're under pressure.
Exactly. So think back to a situation where you had to make a call, maybe there was some risk involved, or maybe you faced some pushback. How did you approach that?
Like, what was your process?
Yeah. Did you gather information, talk to different people? Did you consider the impact it would have on your team, on production?
Yeah, all the different angles.
And then how did you communicate that decision? Clearly, transparently.
So people understood why.
Exactly. So, for example, you could say, I once had to decide whether to halt production because of a potential quality issue, even though it meant we might miss a deadline.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I talked to my team, analyzed the risks, and ultimately decided that quality had to come first.
Okay, so you made the tough call.
I made the tough call. Then I explained my decision to upper management, why I made that choice, and I outlined a plan to get production back on track as quickly as possible.
So you took responsibility.
Exactly. Ownership.
Okay, so what kind of follow-up questions might they ask about something like that?
Well, they might ask about the challenges you faced when you were implementing that decision.
Okay.
Or how you handle any resistance, from your team or from your superiors.
Because there's always going to be some pushback.
There might be, yeah. So this is your chance to show them that you're resilient, that you can navigate those complex situations and lead positive change.
Okay, so you're a problem solver.
Exactly.
And this is where, again, RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful.
Yeah, it can really give you an edge.
Their database has so many real-world examples of effective decision-making in this kind of setting.
Yeah, you can learn from the best.
And their AI can actually analyze your responses and make sure you're highlighting the right things.
The things that hiring managers really care about.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up, let's touch on something that's so crucial but often overlooked.
What's that?
Asking insightful questions at the end of the interview.
Oh, yes. Don't forget to ask questions.
It's your chance to, turn the tables a little bit.
Yeah, you get to interview them.
Shows you're engaged, you're curious, you're really interested.
And it helps you decide if this is the right place for you.
Okay, so what are some good questions to ask?
Think beyond the surface level stuff.
Yeah.
What do you really want to know about the company culture?
Okay.
About the team dynamics? About growth and development opportunities?
Like, give me an example.
You could ask, what are some of the company's initiatives for promoting, continuous improvement and employee development?
Okay, yeah, good one.
Or what opportunities are there to contribute to process innovation and problem solving within the team?
Those are really good questions. They show you're thinking ahead.
They show you want to be a valuable part of the team.
Not just there to clock in and clock out. So remember, the interview is a two-way street.
You're both trying to figure out if this is a good fit.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, remember, preparation is key to acing that interview. RoleCatcher's resources are fantastic.
Yeah, those guides and AI tools are game changers.
But beyond that, showcase your passion, your leadership skills, your dedication to always improving. We're confident that with everything you've learned, you're going to walk into that interview feeling prepared and confident.
And you're going to land that dream job.
Best of luck.